on now. You already know what this is. Or do you know what this is? First things first. God did this. Don't get mad with us. Come on. Now you know. Make sure you follow us on our Facebook. We on that Instagram. We on that we on that TikTok. We on that as well. And make sure you guys subscribe and also hit that notification button for us. Look, I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And we got the one man and the only man that can check you into the Heartbreak Hotel, the Heartbreak Prince himself. Look, welcome again to the second episode of Nighttime. Now, this is a little bit different from our regular weekly episode that we give y'all. This is a little bit different. We kind of pick a few things we want to talk about. Got a couple of main things we got to talk about that happen with Raw, that happen with NXT, and also that happen with Dynamite. But first, let's kick it off talking about Monday Night Raw, baby. Come on, man. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Raw was 2 hours and 30 minutes of heat, 2 hours and 30 minutes of fire, 2 hours and 30 minutes of nonstop storytelling that just kept getting better, baby. And honestly, I think there was a couple of things that was really nice. One of my favorite things, I'd have to say, okay, I ain't even gonna lie, before I even talk about the main thing, the man. Okay, the man, low key. I'm not even mad at her showing up and talking and kind of cut the promo. I was like, you know what? I'm okay with the man being back. Let the man have a little thing. But for me personally, one of my favorite things and the main thing that we got to talk about is the architect, the visionary, the Monday Night Messiah, the bitch. Come on, man, stop playing with this man. He comes out. First of all, interrupt CM Punk. Tell CM Punk, look, it's not even about, he tells the crowd, look, CM Punk is out here gaslighting y'all, telling y'all honestly that Paul Heyman's the one that's the bad guy. But it's time to look at CM Punk. It's time to look at him and see what he did because he's the one that put Paul Heyman in that position. He is the one that put Paul Heyman in that predicament to choose to either his tribal chief or his best friend. Now, honestly, after this, we flash forward to one of the best things that came about, which was Seth and Braun getting ready to take out CM Punk. Now, I'm not going to say that was one of the best things. I love CM Punk at this point. But this right here was something I thought to myself, okay, well, how much are we going to bring Seth Rollins? Or how much closer are we going to bring him to the World Heavyweight title picture? And boy, did they do that because they brought out Sami Zayn and then they brought out Jey Uso. And honestly, it's looking like it's definitely going to be like a good old team up, like a tag team, a 2-on-2. But I'm very intrigued. What I'm most intrigued about is if we got this three-man group right here with Sammy, Jay, and CM Punk. Right now, it's not an official group, but we know this is something that could be something that could be, a little three-man tag team. So my thought is, what would be that third person? Who could be that third person? I ain't gonna lie. Everybody keeps talking about who's this third member. Now, the more and more I look at it, I'm not even gonna lie. I'd be capping if I say, we wouldn't want to see Carmelo Hayes in this mix. I'd be capping if I say, it wouldn't look the best if it was Carmelo Hayes, if it wasn't him. But honestly, the more I'm looking at this, man, I think they're just kind of pushing more for Austin Theory. I feel like there's so much stuff that they're doing to push Austin Theory away from Grayson Waller. And I mean, honestly, that's what the route that they go with in ways. Do I want it all the way? Pause. No, not really. But it would make sense. Why? Because Austin Theory was already a disciple for Seth Rollins when he was the Monday Night Messiah. So it makes sense, in my opinion, if you're going to grab anybody, yeah, Austin Theory, I get it. But you need some new blood. You need a new face. I love the fact that we got Braun Breaker in this, but we need some more young talents. Now, I'm not saying bring anybody from NXT and just immediately call them up. We don't need that at all. No, not at all. But what we do need is somebody that's going to make sense in this storyline. Now, I already feel like they got the perfect person set in line for this. And I like what they're doing. I like what Seth is going with this. This is the very slow build of the layers being peeled back by Seth Rollins. And now it's his turn. I like how this is going for him, man. And honestly, we got to look at a few things. Paul Heyman. How much story is this man investing into this? Into Seth? Into Braun? This is a big deal. First of all, for Braun Breaker. And I tell people this all the time. If you look at the stuff that Paul Heyman does, he produces gold. Any person he's worked with side by side, this is a fact. Think I'm capping. Look at the list. Come on. We can already talk about, everybody on the Samoan dynasty. We can talk about that. We can talk about it. We can talk about Brock Lesnar. We can talk about CM Punk. Okay, we can talk about Roman Reigns. We could talk if you want to talk about companies. We can talk about ECW. We can talk about even when he was on WWE and how much he was doing backstage producing. That man makes gold. Stop playing with Paul. That man's he's got something going. And I think with this, I think this is gonna be looking like it's something extremely solid. And we gotta look at this, man. I don't think this is something that's gonna be a few months now, not for no 6 months. I think we're gonna get another 5-year run. The same way we got with Roman with the tribal chief. I think now Seth is now about to hit his evolving moment. I think now the man is coming from a caterpillar, being up in his cocoon. I think he's about to shed his wings, man, and go crazy like a butterfly. Maybe to a butterfly. And I ain't talking Kendrick. What are your thoughts, man? What you think?
I like it. I like it a lot. I like the, where they're taking this story with Seth. I like the slow burn that it seems like is taking place here. You have, a Braun Breaker. You have Paul Heyman. And right now, you're just trying to figure out, where is Seth trying to take this? Where is he trying to go with this whole thing? Each and every week, it looks like he goes further and further, down the deep end and more into that dark place. And, it's kind of funny seeing this, because for a while now, Seth has been trying to mold his character, or at least, get the crowd to believe that his character is there to save wrestling. And now it's like, to save wrestling at what cost, right? How dark do you have to become in order to be cheered instead of booed when it comes to your name being next to CM Punk, to be cheered instead of booed when they when you mention Roman Reigns and people start holding up the ones and all of that type of stuff. And it's good. It's really good. And I feel like Seth is at his best when he's in this type of realm, this type of element where his tactics are a little shady, and you want to cheer for him because it's Seth Rollins and you like him and all of that type of stuff. But at the same time, he's doing some things that's just like, I don't know, Seth. I don't know. And, he's beating down CM Punk. He's kind of, going after Jay. He's going after Sammy. And, it's interesting. I like it because the story has, multiple paths that it can take. And, and I feel like there's so many different things that, we can get out of this as fans of wrestling. And so it's always good. And I still like the story, that they're telling when it comes to Paul Heyman and why he took the path that he took, why he went down this path to be with Seth Rollins versus staying with, the tribal chief, and why he betrayed his best friend. And what's crazy is the fans aren't buying it. It's actually factually true. And that's the crazy part. It's what he's saying makes sense. I mean, if you put anybody in a predicament like this, where it's like, you're supposed to be my best friend, but you're making me choose between you and the tribal chief, knowing that there is no way for me to win in this battle, knowing full well what you're doing, but you're my best friend and you're going to put me in this position. Of course I'm going to, be upset. Of course I'm going to see that, you're not doing anything but trying to use and abuse me. And then, of course, in this case, he flips and he turns and he goes with Seth Rollins, somebody that has been telling people for a while that, you cannot trust CM Punk. He is all about himself. And it seems like the crowd's not buying it, man. It seems like they're still firmly in CM Punk's corner. And I like that because it just makes the story that much more duplicitous. And I enjoy it, man. I really do. Because it's like, I want to know how hard, and I want to see how hard Seth Rollins is going to work and to get this crowd in his corner against somebody like a CM Punk. And if Roman Reigns ever enters the picture again, how is that going to turn out? So it's good. I think they're cooking with grease here. And again, you talk about this third wheel, and I just want to throw this little nugget out there. And I thought about this on Tuesday just because this is what popped in my head. I said, what if Braun is not Braun? What was, forgive me for that blasphemy, but what if Obafemi is getting ready to drop this belt and move up to the roster and be part of this thing with Seth?
That
be
would
one
be
of his
crazy.
Enforcers. I don't see it going that way, but the thought came across my head because of some of the curveballs they've thrown us lately on NXT with, like, Javon Evans not winning the Battle Royal or Trick Williams, and it's like, what? I can't believe they went away from like a given, to what they did. And then it's like, all right, well, how much more can Oba actually do before it's time for him to move on? At the same time, though, I don't know if I want it. I don't know if I want him there yet. And then I don't know if I want him in that role. But I thought, man, he would be a great enforcer along with Braun. You got Oba, Braun, and then you got Seth, leading it all, and Paul Heyman. Would be great, but I think your theory is better, and that's Austin theory, and I can see that being the case.
Yeah, man. I mean, I really do like that Obafemi thought. That really had me like, ooh, that would go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be cool. Yeah, I do think it would be cool to see him in like at least thrust in the spotlight like that, where at least I know he's not in catering and he's going to have a job for a little bit because this story is going to run for a while, and it'll give him time to develop, get over with the crowd, or whatever they're going to do, be a heel, whatever, get his feet up under him. And you're paired with such great talent like a Seth Rollins, like a Braun Breaker, and then of course you have the wise man himself who always seems to get wrestlers over. So I mean, it popped in my head. But just as fast as it came in, I immediately like, hey, let's get this out of here. Let's get this out of here. I don't know.
Thinking about it, it could really cook, and it can make a lot of sense because, like when I look at people like, groups like Evolution, where you knew, guys like Randy Orton and Batista were gonna thrive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, that's why I'm like, man, the Obafemi, and Braun Breaker, I'm like, that could work because we already know Braun Breaker's thriving on the main roster, and we've seen people have talked about how much Obafemi could really go. So I'd be like, that, if those were the two future guys, I'm all for it. but I mean, hey, I even liked even fast forward to like towards the end of Raw when Seth sent Braun Breaker on that little hit mission to get Seth. I mean, to get Jay.
Yep.
Just had him I was like, okay, this is what we're doing now. This fast, going for the title picture.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like about it, and I got a nitpick. I'm gonna nitpick just a little bit, was they were actually cooking when they were interviewing my man at the time.
I think was it
Ludwig Kaiser? Yeah, and I was like,
doing it to him.
Yes, I was like, oh my gosh! And she was actually asking relevant questions that we talked about. And I said, man, the person that I think that they should be pushing and would be a great Intercontinental Champion is Ludwig Kaiser. That's his arrogance, the schmuckery, all of that he has. That he would be perfect for it. And and she talked about that. She was like, you were kind of really climbing and getting into the title picture and this, that, and the other. And, like she was getting ready to get his words and what he was going to say was next for him. And then they cut to this. And I said, man, y'all could have put that in there when Sheamus came out. y'all interrupted Ludwig Kaiser with this. And I don't know. I mean, what's the plan? Is he gonna be, thrusted back into the picture or not? Because I'm a fan of Ludwig Kaiser. I mean, just watching him over this last year, I have really grown to appreciate him and the work that he does. I mean, he's perfect. He's perfect for that mid-card title role. And he just, like I said, everything about him, he's got the arrogance. He's like a schmuck. He's got a face you want to punch. I mean,
the way he dresses,
just,
he dressed clean now.
Yeah, and he dressed clean. The man
comes
comes out and he's just very in sync with the music and the rhythm. And he does everything just on cue. He's just perfect.
Pinpoint accurate.
He is, man. Good. He is. Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, almost. To this day, I'm still amazed that man could spit the chewing gum out and hit it every time without even
every time.
Every time. I've tried that all my life and I've never got that good at it. Gum go flying halfway across the road and I'm still swinging. Yeah. How does he do it? And he's not even looking, and I'm looking and waiting for it to come out trying to hit it. But it is what it is. But Ludwig Kaiser's that dude, man.
He is, man. He is, man. I think they gotta do something with him, man, because that man deserves. He's got to get a title. Yeah. I think he's definitely got. One of these days we got to show these people the footage. We got some footage of Ludwig Kaiser before he was Ludwig Kaiser. Back in 2018, when this man was known as Marcel Bartel. Okay. Well, this man was Marcel Bartel. Okay. This man couldn't even speak, say nothing. And there's one guy we know. Well, we don't really know him, but we know of him because we've seen him around. Crazy Kyle. This man would literally not even let Marcel Bartel even speak, let alone breathe on the mic. See, that man, Ludwig Kaiser, got natural born heat. That man did absolutely nothing. Actually, he just said one time he was just from his great country of Germany. And that's what pissed the people off. I have no idea why. I was in New Orleans. So what that made these people mad. But hey, it's what it is. But at the same time, you got to give somebody like Ludwig Kaiser. Like, see, this is what I be trying to tell people. Somebody like Ludwig Kaiser, that's a man that has a natural born star written on him. Got his own aura, got his own swag. Don't really need, you don't got to do much. Let him do what he can do and watch it work. See, I think this is the times where I'll be saying, WWE is doing this thing now. I feel like they pick some of the right stars, and then some of the stars they should push, they're not giving the right push for. Now, somebody like Jacob Fatu, the man with the magic boot, the Samoan werewolf, that man is on a perfect climb, perfect rise to stardom. We already know where that man's going because that's how you capitalize. That's how you know you paid attention. You seen how the people was looking at him. You seen how the people was going crazy. But this man, not even saying anything, just standing here like this, saying Solo, I love you. Yeah, y'all had no other choice but to listen. But somebody like LA Knight, y'all have to really drag that one along. Like that man wasn't already a natural born star. Like that man didn't have people saying yeah for years. Y'all got to start capitalizing on these stars. Thank God. Thank God. Y'all finally got my man Dominic, Dirty Dom. That was nice. But now y'all got to capitalize on these other stars. The people that got this natural organic aura. Now, Cedric Valkyrie. Perfect example. That's how you capitalize. That woman's got aura. My girl Julia, y'all got to let her build her aura back. Because the way y'all did her on Raw, crazy. Insane. And this is what I feared. This is exactly what I feared. You put Julia with Roxanne Perez, two single people that have no actual connection to each other besides them actually wrestling against each other, but have no real actual team, like a team thought mindset. No. But you get rid of Cora Jade. Somebody that had that same friendship, somebody that had that same connection, the story between Roxanne and Cora you could have told on a Monday Night Raw. Like if these women didn't already betray each other, you could have told this story 1,000 times like you didn't do it already before with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Or like a Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Stop playing.
Legendary stories too.
Come on.
Especially when you talk about Ciampa and Gargano, man. Johnny Wrestling,
Greatness.
the greatness that was in between those two, man,
So good.
so
Tommaso
good,
Ciampa turned on Johnny Gargano, was injured for
man.
months. And then when he pops back up, oh no, we're back to it. Crazy.
Yeah. All I can say is if they ever get back to that and some of the matches that they are capable of putting on, first of all, I got a couple. I gotta just say hi. We see you. I see Finn Balor, and then we got Yeet. Hello.
There it is.
But yeah, what's the name? If they ever get back to that story with DIY, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, I think the WWE fandom, for those who do not follow NXT or watch NXT and miss the greatness that ensued in those matches, are in for a real treat. We all know that DIY together, they can go in the ring. And then you put the story where they go their separate ways and then they have heat between each other. Oh my gosh, I'm talking Harlem Heat between each other.
Come on now.
Hey, they good stuff. Like I said, I think you're right. They do pick a lot of times they pick the wrestlers. Like they pick Jay, and they did a phenomenal job over the year of pushing Jay.
Which makes sense.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. So that was phenomenal. And the crowd actually bought in, which made it even better. But then, sometimes we have some misses. I still say that by now we should have seen El Grande Americano with the championship.
Come on now.
I will continue to say it, but I mean, it's dirty, man. It's dirty that he has not carried a championship yet in his time on the main roster in WWE. For as great as Chad Gable is in the ring and has been in the ring, the matches he's put on, the caliber of matches he's put on, the characters that he's played, just all the stuff they've given him, and he's turned to gold. It's shameful that they have not at least put him in the mid-card title picture, especially because, I mean, he kind of reminds me of Kurt Angle. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but he has potential. He has the ability.
Yeah.
They don't get behind him like that. And now you have Ludwig Kaiser, who I'd like to see, have some type of push as well. And so my thing is about that is maybe, and just maybe, because we saw what they did on Raw the other night, that they see it, and then this is the year that he's going to get that push and possibly get that title. So here's the hope, and they don't always get it right, like you talk about with them releasing Cora Jade and the stories they could have told with that. I mean, I wish I knew a little bit more behind the scenes when they're making these decisions, and why, and the things that they are purposely, I guess cutting themselves off from the stories that could possibly be told when they make these decisions behind the scenes, and why and how they decide to pick who they want to push and why. But like I said, sometimes they get it right, and then other times, it's hit or miss. But this is still what keeps us coming back and what we enjoy about wrestling. So
that's right, man. That's right. Yeah, man. Gotta love it. Because either way, if it's something that we don't like, y'all still give us something that we do like. So I can't be mad.
And if we just complain enough, things will change. Maybe they'll listen.
That's it. Hey, we complain enough. Y'all changed a couple of things.
And they have. It has worked.
So it's working. It's working. But let's talk about something that was even better when my man Shawn Michaels cooking it up with NXT, baby. Ooh, look, man, I ain't gonna lie. Trick. Hold on. Sean, you the main one I want to thank. But Trick, you did your thing in this segment here. Look, Trick, I don't think I can call you Trick Willy Wonka no more. I think that moniker might have to be retired. Because I think the man that we seen, look, we had already said Hollywood Trick. made an emergence. We already told y'all last week, 2 weeks ago, however long. We told y'all this was gonna be something different. Now, oh yeah, Hollywood Trick is in full effect. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that man said he bigger than NXT, he bigger than TNA. He look, Trick is crazy right now. And I'm loving his promo work. You
Whew.
gotta love it. Trick, you improved so much, bro. You didn't even stumble. I almost shed a tear. I almost shed a tear, Trick. Because the first thing I said was, I said, man, look, all you got to do is just finish this out. It's almost like if you play Guitar Hero and you done hit a perfect every time. And if you hit that last note, you
That
miss it, you
last
been
note.
pissed off. But you hit every single note right, and I'm so proud of you, Trick. You
Hey,
killed this.
he
Man,
did.
and honestly, I ain't even going to lie. This was so good. Even Joe Hendry did his thing. I love the back and forth between both of them.
Yes. Yes.
But Trick, look, the idea I got off in my head, if Hollywood Trick wins the TNA champion, I'm not gonna lie, this is better than Carmelo Hayes. If this man Trick Williams wins this TNA championship, I'm gonna tell you right now, this will be the only thing I will accept for this man not to go to the main roster. Because if he don't go to the main roster, I'm okay with this. But if Joe Hendry loses this, now 9 times out of 10, this man is still going to be with TNA, or he might be moving to WWE. Let's keep it a band. We know how this goes. Look at Jordan Grace. We seen what happened with her. What happened? She popped up at Royal Rumble, did a few things for NXT, dropped her title. Where's she at now? Joe Hendry. Now, this man did a couple of different things. He's been doing this since last year. So this man shows up and faces Trick Will. Come on, man, I'm gonna call him Trick Willie Wonga. It's so hard not to call him Trick Willie because I'm so used to it. But I can't. I can't. This ain't the same Trick I'm looking at. This ain't. If this man Trick Williams wins this title, this is gonna be a game changer. And the only person that could do it and that I would really be okay with doing it is my man Hollywood Trick, man. Look, if anybody is going to get that TNA title from NXT, and I'll be cool with it, gotta be that man Trick, man. I ain't gonna lie. The crowd popped for him. Even when they heard his music the last time, and they was like, oh, it's not him. He not here. No, but he came out. He came out after. And that crowd still went crazy. And I'm not gonna lie, this Trick, Hollywood Trick, the heel Trick, it's actually kind of working. This ain't even crash out Trick. Trick is past this. It's bigger than that. Everything's bigger than that. Trick bigger than everything. Pause. That's what he said. He said he's bigger than NXT. Hey, look, I ain't gonna lie. If you're bigger than NXT, bro, hey, you got it, bro. So honestly, the best thing for him to do, and think about it, if this man really wins this, he will be the only one, I think, to win. Well, I would say from NXT homegrown, that he'd be the only one to win a North American championship, NXT championship, and a TNA championship. Crazy work, man. Hollywood Trick, I'm all for it, bro. Look, keep doing your thing. Make sure you and Lash are good. I'm not gonna lie, that's another thing I want to talk about real quick. Look, I don't know what y'all are doing with this. Let's pair random women together and make them tag teams. Y'all piss me off. The audacity. First of all, the audacity y'all had to put Lash. I'm trying to remember who she was even next to, but it didn't look like it was somebody she was supposed to be next to. Telling the LFG girls, Which, I ain't gonna lie. Me personally, I usually try to keep up to date, but I've been kind of behind, so I've been binging episodes. Not gonna lie. The girl Xena, killing it on LFG. They didn't think she can do much, but Bubba on team, but she's killing it. With her and another girl from Team Taker, I don't know why I can't think of her name right now. Drawing a blank. So many wrestlers all nowadays, the bank just keeps getting full. You know what I'm saying? But but Taker brings both of the LFG girls around. Say, hey, this is NXT. This is what you guys are being. I just thought to myself, okay, so we're gonna have all the women that are in the NXT locker room crowd around the two LFG girls. What are we doing? What are we doing here? This is my problem. Y'all gotta stop with this. I love the creativity. I love what y'all are doing. I love how y'all are putting the attention on the stars that y'all believe in. But this is what I keep telling y'all. Y'all have got to chill on the athletes. Now, homegirl, I can't think of the black girl's name because it's not because Xena's the other girl. But I can't think of the other girl. But the black girl with the dreads. And I wish I knew her name off the top of my head because she's actually one of my favorites on Team Taker. Besides Bailey Humphreys, which is another one that's really good on there. Um, but she's an actual wrestler. So she's got it. She's a gold medalist. I'm all for it. I like her. Xena, I like too. Xena was one that was just all, and then, Bubba Ray really did some stuff, kind of talked with her, got her, showed her that edge, and she got it. She's with it. She got something different. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Another
Is it
thing,
Tyra Steele? Tyra May Steele?
I think that's it. That's her. That's her. Go ahead. That's it. Yeah, she's nice. I like her. She's got a lot of potential. She's got a lot of potential. One thing I thought was hilarious, though, watching LMG, and I know I'm a little off topic for this. I guess it's still on topic. Because one thing I know is my man from the No Quarter Catch crew, in the beginning of NXT, the mic up. Looking at the mic, I'm like, oh, that mic don't say WWE NXT. Why does this mic say LFG? Well, because y'all are filming this constantly, but hey, I'm gonna let that one go as well. Excuse me, but one thing that we gotta look at with NXT that I've noticed. No, I'm sorry, not even NXT with LFG. Okay, they told my man that was on Team Taker, which is actually Evander Holyfield's son. He got a lot of potential. They told this man, they said, I couldn't pay attention to you wrestling because of your chains and your earrings. A normal regular necklace and 2 earrings. And y'all mean to tell me that's what distracted you. But then it was funny. I thought about, what was it, the other week? Well, Undertaker brought the 3 dudes. And 3 of those dudes were from LFG to Obafemi. Funny thing was, one of the dudes had a huge chain on. And it wasn't even a regular chain. You had and she was like dog leg chain. And you want to talk about distracting. That was more distracting than my man's when he was wrestling with a regular chain. Crazy work. I'm crazy for this. But anyway, I love what NXT is doing. Trick, keep killing it. Honestly, that's one of my favorite things. But again, for Lash, please do not put this woman in the mix. Please put her in the main title picture. Put her in the North American title picture. We got to keep Lash doing something because the fact that you let go of Jakara Jackson, but we still got Nikita Lyons is crazy to me. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
I thought it was a little out of place myself when I had the LFG girls being crowded by all the NXT stars, and they were just like, we're just trying to be the next NXT superstars. And I was like, oh, they got this whole thing of like, yeah. And I was like, oh, and so now they have this thing where it's like now NXT is on another level, and LFG is like the new NXT of like their developmental NXT. Now you're an NXT superstar when it used to be, I can't wait to be a WWE superstar from the, and it's kind of how they're trying to do business. I get it because NXT has outgrown the whole developmental brand because the way they do things and the way they operate as if they're one of the 3 main shows of WWE, between SmackDown, Raw, and now NXT, because of the type of storylines that they're able to tell, the type of wrestling talent they have. It really doesn't feel like a developmental brand. It really doesn't feel like these wrestlers are there trying to find their way. Hell, a lot of them come to NXT already with, multiple years of experience with other programs. And some of them rival competitor programs such as AEW, such as TNA. And so it doesn't feel like it's this developmental brand that they say NXT is. So now I guess LFG will be that. But to get to what we started off discussing which was, of course, the Hollywood trick. I lost my mind in here watching it because the line about Trick Williams is bigger than NXT. He's bigger than TNA. Hell, I'm Hollywood Trick. The fact that he said that and ran with it, because we talked about this last week. I wonder if he's going to pick up on the fact that the crowd went Hollywood Trick and then make it a thing. And he did. And that's why I was so hyped and so proud of him. The fact that he said it, on, his whole promo, and he delivered it well. And I mean, that back and forth promo between Joe Hendry and Trick, it had, that big fight feel to it. And that there were high stakes. And that's what you want when you're talking about a match like this for a championship. And it got me thinking. I said, could this be it? Because some other things that we've talked about over the last few months or whatever with this whole TNA partnership with NXT is the fact that, hey, it's cool and all that they have this partnership, but it never really feels like any of these titles are really in jeopardy, or any of these, like when they come and put the TNA tag team titles on the line, or when they come and put the TNA championship on the line or whatever, they're never really in jeopardy. And same with NXT. There's no real jeopardy because that it doesn't seem like they're going to be changing belts. But could this be the match that does it? Because we said that we think an even greater storyline can come out of this, because it can be like the whole WCW invasion of the WWE thing when they came. Yeah. And it's like, you got this angle of like, the TNA championship is taken by WWE and we've got to get it back, or vice versa, whatever you want to do. But it also kind of shows that it's a real partnership to me. Like, like it kind of cements that, hey, we're working together, and we're going to bring these talents to a broader audience, both for TNA and for WWE. And so I think that could be an excellent storyline, having a title change hands to a different brand. And then, and you try to see that storyline develop of whoever from whatever brand trying to get their title back, whether it's TNA trying to get it back from WWE or WWE trying to get it back from TNA. I think that they have something there, and it would just add to that partnership. So I really did enjoy it. And like I said, of course, or like you said, Joe Hendry, he was on his game. I mean, Joe Hendry was on his game. It was a well shot promotion. And I got to applaud both of them. I mean, they're looking like they're going to put on one hell of a match. And I'm really curious to see if this title is going to change hands. And what does that mean for Joe Hendry? Because we know we've seen him, multiple times when we've said his name. And, and he's, I think, he is ready to kind of come over to the WWE side of things. I think just the way that they've been using him, the fact that he was at WrestleMania and wrestled Randy Orton, they gave him that slot. That that speaks volumes. Not to mention what Triple H said to him afterwards about him kind of deserving it, and when he's ready and all of that type of stuff. It's already kind of putting in the seed out there that, hey, we want Joe Hendry. And I mean, it's Joe Hendry. I mean, what can you say? I mean, you just you just like him. I don't know what it is about him. You just like him. I don't know. It could be the cheesy song. I don't know. It's just something about Joe. Yeah, from the side man. It's entertaining, man. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how this match plays out, because like I said, and like Joe Hendry brought up, Trick, you lose this match, you're out of the TNA picture, and you're out of the title picture for the NXT championship. So you have nothing, and you come here and you talk about being bigger than TNA, bigger than NXT. So yeah, I'm bigger. I'm Hollywood Trick, man. Hey, I said okay. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the chills, the rock chills. Come on, yeah. I mean, it was good, man. I like I said, Trick has just been in a zone. He's been in a zone lately, and it has been really good to see. And I'm just it's like you're watching him grow right before your eyes. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, it's only a matter of time for Trick as well. Eventually, he's going to be called up, and we're going to try to see if he can find himself on the main roster somewhere. But for right now, Trick is doing his thing. Hollywood Trick.
Yeah, Hollywood Trick, boy. Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. I feel like once we said we was like, yo, Trick is like right there. We was like, yo, if he work on this one little thing,
Yeah,
we said that. He said, "Say less, I got y'all."
yeah,
And he's delivered, and I'm
he's been
proud of him,
delivering.
man. He's been
Yes.
delivering like a Uber Eats, boy. I'm so
Yeah.
proud of him.
Not an Uber Eats. You dirty.
Uber Eats, boy.
you dirty. That's good. I like it. I like it.
Oh man. But since we're gonna talk about something that was dirty, something that's been a little grimy,
Yeah.
and we don't usually talk about AEW a lot, but this one, oh, we've got to talk about this for Dynamite, baby. Let's get into it. Look, now, I know this is a little abnormal for some of our viewers because I know we talk about WWE a lot, but we tell y'all all the time we are also viewers of the wrestle promotions, and this is something that to be honest, we've been telling y'all about MJF since we first started this podcast, but this specifically has been nothing but good. We heard people. We
We
heard
heard
people.
people.
This has been good, man. Look, the last 2 months, month and a half, we have been having this storyline with the Hurt Syndicate and MJF. Now, for the longest, MJF. So this all started out before. MJF has been trying to get his way into the Hurt Syndicate. He told them, "Look, I know my way around the business. I know my way around here. I can get y'all to the things y'all need." He said, "All I need is just y'all's help to get me to that title, to that main title." And honestly, who's better? And who else would you actually accept into this syndicate than MJF? But this has been something that's been going on. Look, Bobby has been playing games. And I ain't gonna lie, a lot of games with MJF. I mean, to the point where this man then took his car. This man then pretty much MJF gave him a whole bunch of women a watch, all this other stuff. And I ain't gonna lie, Bobby Loki been playing MJF for real, but it's been working out. And what I love is to the point that piss MJF so much that they call him a bald-headed son of a. I love it. You son of a. I said, man, MJF is great. This man is good. The wordplay. You know what I'm saying? We got to think about how many times he used the bees. You know what I'm saying? That bees was so smooth off of MJF. But what I loved what they've been doing with this. I mean, they've been playing this so good. I mean, the drama we've been seeing with just a thumb from Bobby Lashley, and MVP been playing it. Now, if you look right here, just look at Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin's playing this whole thing like he's ready to super kick MJF. So they're really kind of selling this. At first I thought to myself, are we really gonna let MJF in? Is MJF gonna be a member of the Hurt Syndicate? Well, answer was yes. And to be honest, I think it shocked MJF as much as it shocked almost everybody else. But that man was ecstatic. That man was so happy, he jumped on Bobby Lashley. Insane. Hugged him. I mean, the point where Bobby kind of just tossed him off, but but I never seen a man like MJF this happy. And to the point where this man really started running around in circles in the ring, talking about, we hurt people. We hurt people. We hurt people.
Hurt people.
This is good, man. Look, I've been saying this since jump. MJF is one of my top guys in this generation of the day and age of wrestling. I have said this man is probably the top one, okay, of wrestlers in today's day and age. When it comes to being the best heel, who else is doing it better than MJF? I'll wait. Can't name me one. Because MJF is the only one that can go on that mic and go crazy. I ain't never seen that man fumble. I ain't never seen that man stumble. That man could have been doing it in the jungle. Hell. That man could have been doing it in the Royal Rumble. Hell. But it
Diabolical.
don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Look, MJF, that man got gold on him, man. And honestly, everybody knows MVP, gold on the mic. The man go crazy. The man been doing it. Come on. Theme song, I'm coming. Pause. Nobody can stop me. Nobody can hold. Nobody can. I'm coming. That's MVP. Same man. They should hold a tag team title, U.S. title. So some people be forgetting how much MVP used to be killing it back in the mid 2000s, showing y'all how much he was balling when that man had the brains, the rolls. Okay, big things popping, little things stopping. Look, that man posted so many 2007 songs that was hits. It's crazy. Crazy work. My man MVP was killing y'all with these. But the best thing what I love about this is how they're really telling the story. They are really getting their chance again to really tell the story of what the Hurt Syndicate is. Of course, we know what the Hurt Business was originally. So don't forget, these men were on Chris Van Vliet not too long ago. And you know Chris Van Vliet asked them about Ced. Because, you know, you ain't going to have the Hurt Syndicate if you ain't got my man Cedric Alexander. You got to have Ced. And yeah, we know Ced ain't been the same, man. He ain't been the same Ced since he left since he got kicked out the Hurt Syndicate or the Hurt Business. But I think, since we already know my man Ced done got released, I think it's going to be time sooner or later. Don't be surprised when Ced pop up. And to be honest, when Ced joins the Hurt Syndicate, I think that's going to be time for MJF to get up out of there. I ain't going to lie, because it ain't going to work with 5 of them. But I know for a fact it's going to work with 4. It ain't going to work with the new 4. It's probably going to work with the original 4. But maybe just a Fantastic 4. Spring Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
You are diabolical, man. I love it. Again, you know, I'm a huge MJF fan. I love the fact that, you know, this dude is just slimy and he's so good as a heel. And, you know, this is like a mistake for the Hurt Syndicate, you know, and it's just one of those things where MJF has shown you time and time again, the minute you open the door and let him in, he's going to ruin everything. He's like the cat in the hat. You don't let him in the house. You don't let him in the house. And, you know, it's good. It's funny because, you know, for the weeks they've been playing this, and it's like your heart says, let him in, you know, because this will be great. This will be great. But then today, when I saw the final thumbs up from the man that has stymied him for weeks, I said, Bobby, no. Bobby, no. And look, and just look at this. You know this isn't gonna last long. You know it's not. It's false. But but you know MJF is gonna tear the house down, and he's, you know, I hope MJF is careful because he's part of the Hurt Syndicate, and it's clear by their music. We hurt people, and MJF is going to get hurt. I think once he tries to pull his MJF, his Maxwell Jacob Friedman style, he's going to get hurt. And I think it's great because, like you said, with the storyline about, you know, Cedric Alexander possibly coming in, that could be the way they go when it's time to give MJF the boot. Because, you know, MJF, it's going to be good for 2 weeks to a month. Then MJF is going to start pulling his MJF ways, and then things are going to change. And then the dynamic of it, because, you know, MJF is going to try to be the lead dog. And Bobby Lashley has been the lead dog of the Hurt Syndicate. We know that. And so it's eventually MJF is going to be MJF, and it's going to turn bad, and he's going to be hurt. And I'm all for it because I just want to see how this story unfolds. Because again, MJF is so great. I mean, his run just a year ago now, year and a half, where he was doing stuff like dressing up in the American flag.
Oh my God, man, that was so good. That was so
But
good.
yes, and you know, he's so good, man. He is so good at what he does. And you know, you just can't take your eyes off of what MJF is going to do next, especially when he gets into, you know, his mode, and when he gets into like a group or a thing like this or some type of feud. He's so good, and he just knows how to like irk you. And he's MJF. He's Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He's better than us, and we know it. That's all you can say.
That's
I mean,
it, man.
it is what it is. I'm happy for it, for the story, because like I said, when Bobby gave him the thumbs up, it was like a no, Bobby, but at the same time, it was like, this is going to be good.
No, yeah, man. Honestly, I think when it comes to MJF, man, I don't think this man has had a bad storyline. I mean, even from the start, I think from AEW, when he was just starting up with Cody, when he turned on Cody from Full Gear, when he did his own thing, got the whole, when he got honestly, when he got the
Had the
ring, I mean,
ring. Yeah.
we talked about this.
Yeah.
This everything with MJF, perfect.
Yeah.
You got the ring. You come out with the scarf.
Yep.
Everybody knows how you feel about it. You know, you come out with your suit. You talk all this. And honestly, I don't think he's just one of those guys where I'm like, I've never even heard him stumble, let alone stutter.
Yeah.
And it's like somebody like, you know, like the Miz, I've heard him stumble a couple of times.
Yeah. And he's also really good on the mic.
Yeah. But it's like he'll have a couple.
He ain't MJF good.
Yeah, come on now. Somebody else, but I've barely ever heard. I think one time LA Knight stumbled for a second, and caught himself.
Yeah, LA Knight is that dude.
Fast.
Yeah.
And he fixed it so fast and just recovered. I'm like, come on, that's greatness. That's greatness. Yeah. It's like guys like that on the mic, man. You got like, I tell people that's the stuff you need when it comes to promo classes. This is what you got to be teaching people. How to be good on the fly, man. Because someone like MJF, like, I really do commend that. Like, to kind of say and do all the stuff you're about to say, go off on somebody in the crowd for a solid 2 minutes or whatever, come back. Just the memory and it. I commend that 100%. Now, unless you're not scripting it, cool, I get it.
Yeah.
Because if you got somebody like Christian Cage, the patriarch.
Oh. He's also get legendary. He's
so
goated.
Good.
He's goated.
Honestly, I love what he did last to Nick Wayne. When he got the Ring of Honor champion. He hit it, just dropped it. I said, yo. He's another one, man. Like, yeah. I genuinely love the work he's doing. Like, Christian Cage doing some of his best work right now. I'm not mad at anything he's doing. He even said none of this stuff. He has no idea what he's going out there to say every time. He just goes out there and just says whatever.
That's a talent, man. It's a talent. It really is. And that's why people like Christian Cage. That's why people like MJF, Miz. They excel, man. They are so good on the mic. They're just in their wheelhouse, and I don't know how they do it. I mean, I don't know how many promo classes they've taken over their lifetime, but they just got the gift of gab, and that's just the way it is. And like I said, MJF is definitely one of one, though. I mean, I can just listen to him be on the mic, just without any hesitation, without any issue, just listening to the stuff he has to say, because if he's heel, he can be good. If he's face, he's good. It's just. Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He's better than us, and we know it.
And we know it. Man,
I mean, even when he does his interviews, he's
like the one he did with Wrestle Talk. Wrestle Talk, that was great. That was great. Like, I am the American.
They almost. I watched something a while ago, or saw something a while ago, that talked about MJF, and the reason why he's scary is because he doesn't separate himself. He can't separate himself from the business. Like what he's just MJF all the time. Like he's whatever his real personality is, it's just like it doesn't exist anymore. Like when you go to meet him at his house, just as a friend, he's not what MJF used to be. He's just MJF all the time.
MJF.
And they would just talk about how, that's a scary thing for wrestlers like them because they've lost themselves. It's kind of like a little bit about Ric Flair, how he's kind of
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I think he's our generation's Ric Flair.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
so,
where he
he
couldn't turn it off. Yeah, he lived that lifestyle even in his personal life. Like that's just who he became, and he just couldn't separate his identity from the ring of Ric Flair or the wrestling world of Ric Flair.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're definitely 100% right. And I think he really is, because when you look at like everything he does and how I mean, even I've seen him on like the reality TV show. He's still the same guy.
He's still the same.
Like nothing about him changes.
Yeah.
And which I mean, I love that about it, but at the same time, like you said again, that can be scary. Now, somebody for MJF, I think the persona of him is fine because again, not doing it like Rick. Rick he loved to drink 10 beers before he got to the plane, drink another 10 on the plane with 10 martinis.
Buy everybody at the bar drinks. He was wilding, man.
And do a match and go crazy, do a whole 30-minute match like it wasn't nothing.
He was so good in the ring, man. He was. Yeah, that's why he's in my top 5 wrestlers of all time.
Look, he's still the greatest 21 times, baby.
Yeah.
21. We know.
Salute.
Oh, man. But hey, we talked about some of the great things with Raw, NXT, and even AEW Dynamite. But also, make sure, and again, we told y'all before the beginning of the show, but I need y'all to do this again. Make sure y'all follow us on Facebook. We on that. Follow us on Instagram. We on that. We on X. We on that. TikTok. We on that. Follow us on all those and make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button and also turn on those notifications, man, because we stay dropping content and giving y'all everything that you need the exclusive way. Okay. Yeah, you already know what it is. Okay. Hell. But hey, I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And we had the one man and the only man that could check you into the Heartbreak Hotel. Because this was a great edition of Nighttime. And look, I know y'all like this. This is a little bit different from what we normally do. We get a little different. We talk about some other things. We kind of drift off and talk about some other stuff. That's what we do at nighttime because it's just the nighttime.
No bread, no water, just me.
Okay? Because look, we are the exclusive nights, and we always ensure that we are the best there is, the best there was, and the best that
ever will be.
And to always ensure that your nights will never be the same. Gracias!
Gracias! Thanks for watching.
Y'all be good.